Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Elena J. Do you still have your ex's last name? If so, why haven't you changed it? And who has the better deep voice? Our prod guy Will or this new low voice singer? Plus, what's the most expensive thing that you ever broke? All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
As you walk down the aisle, friends, family, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ standing there at the altar, awaiting your vows of holy matrimony. When you say I do, the rest of your life is in front of you, and all you picture are moments of wedded bliss. And then something happens where that's no longer the situation, and you decide, all right, it's better for both of us if we go our separate ways. It happens to half of couples. So,
more than likely it was his fault, but it took me forever to change my last name. Like mentally, it was a weird thing. I'm like, I'm going from this, which I've only known for 27 years.
Yeah.
Now I'm changing it. Now I have a different last name.
well, I just told my wife, I said, look, you're either taking the name or you're out.
Oh.
And to find
That was
something else like this in your lifetime,
And then what
luck.
did you say out loud? Is what I want to know.
I said, whatever you want, honey.
So Tracy Morgan's ex refusing to drop the Morgan last name, which I think is hilarious because it's just to make him mad.
What a big
You know
middle
what I mean?
finger to your ex-husband.
Yeah. But their daughter does have the Morgan last name. So that part I understand as far as moms go, wanting to keep that last name.
Now, Heather, this was kind of the case with your mom, too, right? She kept the last name to make sure that you all kind of had the same name?
Yeah. She wanted to keep it just for the kids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
I guess I get that.
We're all older now, but she's still keeping the last name.
That's weird. My ex, he had a baby with a woman. Remember, I was hanging out with Crystal.
Usually the way it works.
So, okay. So she had a baby with him. That son has my ex's last name. Then she had a baby with someone else. That kid has a different last name. And then she had another one, a little boy, and he has a different last name. So 4 different last names in one house.
In that house?
Yeah. And she's not with any of the dads. So there, I'd be like...
You know, that's hashtag family 2020 now. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think so.
In the,
I think it's-
in the 1950s, you'd have been, like, run out of town.
It's still a different situation.
All right. Heather, hey, I appreciate you being part of the show. We have an anonymous caller. So, Kat, you have to pick a name for this anonymous female who doesn't want her name on the radio.
Let's go with Herpum.
Okay. Hi, Herpum. Now, why no changing of the last name, Herpum?
Well, so I got married when I was younger, and it didn't work out, and I didn't realize the repercussions of not changing my last name, that this was going to, like, drag on with me. I just didn't want to, like, change my bank account, credit cards, driver's license. I was like, that's a lot of work. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just keep it. Mm-hmm. So it was fine until I had a baby, and I'm like, so what do I name? What name do I give my child? Because I had a baby, and it was unplanned, so I was not married, but I had somebody else's last name. So at that moment, I really regretted not changing it.
Yeah.
How long of a process is that? Well, when you found out you were pregnant, I'm guessing most people find out they're pregnant 6-8 weeks in, right? Or maybe even a little bit sooner.
You didn't want to give the baby daddy's last name to this child?
Well, that's what I ended up doing, but
Okay.
I was back and forth. Like, I was single at the time, so I thought, well, I'll give the child my last name, but I didn't have my own last name.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want moms to know
Needless
that
to
last
say-
names are earned. You know what I mean? Don't just give that last name just because it's the dad. I mean, you could be doing 100% of the work, and just because you want to be like a nice... Too many nice women are out there.
Hey, Herpum,
You know?
can I rewind this a quick second, Herpum? When you found out you were pregnant, would have you had enough time to resort back to your original name, or was I guess I don't know how long it takes to change your last name.
It doesn't take a long time. It's just a lot of effort.
You know, I didn't want to go through all of that. In hindsight, I just should have switched my name back when I got divorced.
Yeah, I got you.
If
So,
you just
like,
put...
anybody that does it now.
Yeah.
But your head is all over the place, man. You're going through a divorce. I mean, your life is upside down. You don't know what's next. I get that. That's like the last thing you're worried about. You got to think about where you're going to live and eat.
All you got to do is put in one day's hard work, have all your paperwork with you, and then it's done. You know, I get changing all of your accounts and stuff like that. Do it all in one day, and then you're done.
I can't even do laundry in one day.
Yeah,
like
in
this is not gonna
hindsight,
happen.
yes. I would tell anybody, get your last name back.
All right. Hey, thanks for being on the show, Herpum.
Yep.
Take care. She
She
doesn't
sounds
like. She didn't. I
beautiful.
don't think she liked Herpum. I think you need to find more attractive names to give people, Kat, when they want to be anonymous. Like Kathy, would you like it if we called you Herpum?
What about syphilum?
I like syphilis.
Stick with Kathy. Okay.
What's going on, Kathy? Tell me about the last name, please.
I kept my married name because it's easy to spell. And no one asked me how to spell it, and no one asked me who I'm related to because it's such a generic name.
Yeah.
Right. So you got like a Smith or a Jones or something going on?
Yeah, and my other name was spelled so weird, everyone pronounced it wrong, and they're always like, the I is before the E, even though the E was before the I. And it's like, I'm just keeping my name.
That makes sense. So you kept it for simplicity's sake, and it didn't hold a whole lot of emotional value to you, obviously.
No.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show, Syphilum. Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye.
I got time for one more call here real quick because, Mallory, this is kind of interesting. You have friends that combined their last names?
I do. I have two girlfriends that got married about 4 years ago, and neither one of them were super attached to their last names.
Yeah.
So they combined them and put a Vaughn between them, and it actually ended up being a super cool last name.
That is so
Really?
awesome. Can you tell us what it is? Because I got to hear it in context with the Vaughn in there because it makes it sound so regal.
Their last name is Brower von Siebold.
That's so awesome.
Brower von Siebold.
I know.
All I see is this huge brick house with this awesome archway, and
I feel like their kids are all marching in a line,
maybe
singing.
a moat. You know what I mean? The grass is perfectly manicured. Oh, von Siebrum. Oh, great.
Right.
Oh.
Well, and one of my friends has a child,
Yeah.
and his last name was already her last name. So she didn't want to completely get rid of hers when she got married to my other friend. So
I
they
feel
just
like
did that. And then go ahead.
To avoid any like family fights, because no parent is going to want to see their last name like blow away. You know what I mean? So I feel like you'd have to have like no family left, and it's just you two, and then you got to get creative.
Right.
I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, that's cool. And also, my mother-in-law has a hyphenated last name because my husband's father died when he was little, and he was an only child.
Yeah.
And when she got remarried when he was 9, she didn't want to, have him be the only one with that last name, so
Sure.
she hyphenated her last name.
So my mother-in-law was going to do that because Derek grew up as the only last name in his family, and then all the other 3 had the same. So
It's so crazy because then eventually somebody's gonna want to trace your heritage and stuff. So you throw kind of a speed bump in that whole thing. But I like the Vaughn. I'm seriously thinking about that.
Yeah.
How old is
I
too
love it.
old
It's great.
to just up and change your last name? Like my poor dad rolling over in his grave for I'm just thinking about this. But man, throwing a Vaughn in there is just so regal.
don't put too much stock into this ancestry thing, okay? You could be named Clark your whole life and then get a tattoo and you think you're Irish 99%, and then all of a sudden you spit into a tube and you're only 13%. So don't put too much stock into
All
it.
right, thank you, Mallory Von
Right.
Mallory. I appreciate you being on the show.
What is going on?
I want to do something real quick because
boy.
that's okay. Say that again one more time.
Oh boy.
Okay, guys.
Oh, my God.
Meet Will. Will is our prod god, and what that basically means to you guys is when we have commercials that the clients want cut, they come to Will. He helps write them, he helps produce them, but he voices a lot of the commercials that you would hear on the radio station, or actually throughout the whole Midwest. These spots go everywhere. I found, and I want to compare this. They found this guy, and he is supposed to be the singer with the world's deepest voice.
Oh, okay.
Now, first, I want to play you the world's deepest voice singer guy, and then I want Will to repeat after me, and you're going to decide who's got the better voice.
Will,
okay,
did
listen.
you know about this before?
No, I was just informed like 30
look at
seconds
his
ago.
Yeah,
face.
he's in panic mode. This
I'm
is
not. I'm clarify. I'm not singing though, right?
maybe. Let's first
do
listen to
that.
this guy. First, listen to this guy, guys.
I gotta walk. Got
Oh my God, I can feel that in my stomach.
I'm gonna poop.
Maybe that's a compliment. Your voice makes me poop.
She is great. All right.
Do that harmonizing at the end?
Yeah, it's
that was
great.
neat.
I got a wall.
Is he saying waffle?
I don't know. What color is it?
I got a wall.
I don't even know what he's saying.
Now, Will, I want you to think of, Kat, give Will something to say really deep.
Say member FDIC.
Member FDIC.
Wow. Okay, so that's Will. This
Say
is
tell him Kat sent you.
Tell him Cat sent you.
Yeah.
That's not deep. It's got to be. You got to go slow.
Tell him Cat sent you.
Ooh, my God, you sound ominous.
I got a wall.
Okay, one more time. Can you go? I've got a wall.
I've got a wall.
Why are you doing this to him? He's such an introvert.
I played Dungeons and Dragons, for God's sake.
All right, say I'm the best at. What would be the highest rank of Dungeons and Dragons you could ever achieve?
Well, it's levels, if you must know.
What level is that?
Well, 20 would be the maximum.
Okay, say I'm a level 20 Dungeons and Dragons player.
I'm a level 20 paladin.
Say that one more time, but get really close to the mic.
I'm a level 20 paladin.
Oh, isn't that great?
I got a wall.
So here's what I want to. Thanks, Will. I know you're probably really mad that we did this. Yeah. All right.
Toodaloo.
All right.
Bye,
See you later,
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo.
If you think we're making fun of him, that's how he talks.
He apologizes in every email he sends. So I'm sorry to bother you, and you can hear.
Sorry you didn't do your job. I'm just wondering if you could get those jobs done. I'm so sorry you had too much time.
What he's going to do right now is he's going to go on some Dungeons and Dragons blog right now, and then be like, "The morning show had me on the radio, and I sounded like
I got a wall.
But here's what I was hoping you would do real quick: is will you text us at 251-1047? Who's better, singer guy
I got a wall.
or our homeboy Will? Just text in either singer guy or Will to 251-1047, and please vote for Will, because what we'll do is we'll take a screenshot of all these texts that come in, and then we'll send it to him, and it'll really make his day. By the way, he's engaged to a woman from Nantucket. No, where's she from? Newfoundland. Yeah. And they met playing Dungeons and Dragons online. So this would really help out Will a lot. So if you could just text in Will has a great voice, or like Will is better, we'll pass that along, and then you're doing something good for somebody.
Weird news.
Total rookie move. How embarrassing. It's like the desk pop on the other guys. You just fall for it. This police officer in training in England had to call the fire department because he got stuck in his own handcuffs. Nice. So, the vet sitting next to him was like, dude, everybody wears their own handcuffs at one time or another. He had to call the fire department, and the officer that helped had to use bolt cutters to free him following the training session. So he will probably be the butt of jokes for a long time.
Well, and he's going to pass this rookie move along to somebody else. He'll haze somebody with this.
Liam has so many sets of handcuffs all around the house. It's always within arm's reach.
Liam does, huh?
Liam does, because he wants to be a cop when he's older, but he's always trying to get me to buy the ones that come with keys. I'm like, no, you need that little latch because you're going to forget where you put them. It's just going to be terrible. All right, so a growing new trend in Colorado finds women empowering themselves by going hiking topless.
I heard about this.
I can't tell you how amazing that would feel. When you walk around the house topless, Elena, isn't that amazing?
It is.
No bra. Take your sports bra off, your regular bra, and then you just rub underneath, and you get all the itchies out.
And when I stand in my doorway naked, then that's a problem.
That's because you're like, look at those guys going around.
Is that a pressed fruit bowl?
Yeah. Trend seems to be exploding. So if you're hiking in Colorado and you see that, it's totally legal for people to do that, which I don't even think is weird. I think it's pretty amazing, and that would be an attraction for me.
And in a completely unrelated story, I'm moving to Colorado.
Just wanted to let you guys know. Just made the decision, and that is what's weird.
Speaking of what's weird, Amy and the handcuffs, can I get the story, please? This is your sister, right?
My sister experimented with handcuffs in the bedroom.
Yes.
Nice.
And lost the key.
Of course she did.
And had to go to 6 different stores to try to find a matching set.
Nice.
Yeah.
They had to saw off a portion of their headboard. I thought it was the most hysterical thing in the world.
Oh, my God.
And again, how do you tell anyone else about this? Isn't this a secret you take to the grave?
Right. If you're in a small town and this happens, those firefighters or cops, go to the local brewery, just spread that word. So, handcuffs. My question of the day has to do with overweight animals And is it inhumane to let dogs live their best food life? So I'm going on a walk yesterday, see Ann and Kevin, who live across the street from me, and their dog, Al, which I think any
Great
Al
name.
needs to have a belly. I don't know one skinny Al. So it just like goes hand in hand. But the dog is totally overweight, like at least 25 pounds overweight. Ooh. It looks like one of those things that your grandma makes with the sand that keeps the doors open. And then his little legs. And Ann is pulling him. And Kevin's like, let him lay in the yard. He's yelling, stop pulling him. He doesn't want to go for a walk. She goes, he's on a diet. And they're yelling. And I said, what kind of diet do you have him on? She goes, well, we have this special food, some Blue Earth something. And then they try to have him exercise. And Kevin's like, let him live his life. The average dog lives like, what, 10 to 13 years?
Yeah, I think it's like 14, 15 years.
And so I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if my dog wanted just a random treat off the table, throw it at him. You know? I don't want crap all over my house, but just throw it at him. I think dogs could be fat if you let them. Do you think it's inhumane? Because your wife throws treats upon treats upon treats.
Yeah, our dog gets like bad belly and will throw up though. You know what I mean? Like she's so used to just having her dog food that if she gets too much scrap, she gets sick. So no, I'm okay with that. Like you're taking care of this dog, let it be fat. I'm okay with that.
Your dogs are pretty fit, Elena.
But yeah. I mean, we give them scraps, table scraps all the time, but they do get a lot of working out. You know, they run a lot outside. So I think when it reaches a certain point, like 25 pounds overweight.
That's a lot to carry.
That's a bit detrimental. You know, you're basically just feeding that dog to death.
Well, I hate to say it, but Kevin is overweight. So I think he's just like, listen, let me live my best life. Let my dog live his best food life.
Oh, that's what he wants to live his life. So he's like, it's vicarious.
He's taking, Al into account. You only have a few more years left, buddy. Let's give you what you want. You want that steak and bone.
But there's no fun having a dog that just lays there either. Like the fun about having a dog is playing around, walking with it, running around,
No, you sit on the couch and you pet it and cuddle with it at night. I want to know, my question of the day, is it inhumane to let dogs live their best food life?
But on that, Angie's letting the whole pet crew live their best life, right, with Halloween right around the corner?
This year, the dog is going to be a shark.
Okay.
My girl cat's going to be a mermaid.
Sure.
My fat cat's going to be a pufferfish. And my skinny cat's going to be a lobster.
Yeah, puffier. I like
They're
that.
all related, all under the sea creatures.
Great.
The shark came first.
Right, we didn't ask.
Because I saw it in a pet store, and I'm like, Clarky the Sharky, I have to do that.
Yeah.
And then I always do a theme. Last year, I didn't have the dog, I just had the cat, and the fat
Guys,
one
we didn't
was
ask any of this.
king. The girl was a princess, and the skinny one was the court jester.
Sure.
I always have to have a theme. It can't just be random stuff.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you coming to the show.
The fat cat was the king. See?
You ever notice how some people
best food life.
will just call the radio station and tell you all sorts of stuff you didn't ask about?
I love her.
Hey, Elena, I know before, or was it during quarantine, you watched all the Star Wars? You finally got caught up on all these, right?
No, it was before the new one came out in December.
Oh, that's what it was. So before everybody was kind of batting down, have you gone through and watched like Mandalorian and Solo and all the other stuff that goes with the Star Wars movies?
Have not watched The Mandalorian.
You should. There is a portion of this, and Kat, you'd be interested in this as well, because Darth Vader takes a wife.
Really?
Which is very, very odd, because in these space things, there's like one romance, and that's usually it. But in the new episodes of The Mandalorian, Darth Vader makes an appearance, and he has a wife.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Why are you doing that? That's cool. You just don't care at all?
Right.
Elena, see, I saw your eyebrows go up, though. You're like, it's cool. So her name is Ella.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Ella, and she's taking his last name? Vader.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. Oh, Lena.
Come on.
So lame.
Come on.
Right?
God, you guys suck today, man. That's a funny joke.
Oh, my God.
Elevator.
You're just look at the mane in the middle of his forehead that comes out when he tells a good joke.
It's elevator, like it goes up and down.
Yeah.
And you get in it and you go up the floors. Darth Vader's wife is elevator.
Perfect. I actually met a guy that had a horrible experience on an elevator. So he worked with the SWAT department, and he and his partner, there was this guy that barricaded himself inside the elevator, and they had to get on top of the elevator shaft.
This happens?
This happens, I don't know how often, but this guy was in there with this huge rifle. And this guy and his friend were on top, his partner, and they were trying to get in and get the gun away, or at least like shoot him so they could get in and defuse the situation.
Good Lord.
And so they had shots fired at him. His partner got one in the leg. Okay, so horrible. So
Jesus.
now he looks like he's kind of the hero. So we celebrated
because he took
one
a
night.
bullet.
No, his friend took a bullet. But yeah, they toasted to him, but we went to this party to celebrate and just say, congratulations, guys. You diffused a horrible situation.
Sure.
And then he just kind of went on with life. And then it kind of came back around. You know, when some people are fired from a job, they're pretty scorned. And so this guy had been plotting and planning for months, I guess. And he put a bomb on a bus. And so these people are just trying to get to work, you know what I mean? And go about their daily business. Last thing they have to worry about is having to keep a bus at 50 miles per hour. If you go over to 51, the whole thing blows up. So he meets this girl, and I'm like, you have to stop getting yourself into these situations. I mean, it sounds terrifying. So he's on the bus, and she is driving. She's never been in this situation before. He's talking her through it. There are people that are turning on each other in this bus. Him telling the story. I know. He tells a story all the time, and it never changes. So you know it's true. Like your stories are elaborated every single time you tell a story.
Hey, Kelly, I hate to break up Kat's story here, but what's going on?
Not much, but I think that movie sounds like Speed.
Speed, yes. Nice.
I would know some exciting people.
Kelly knows the rules. Anytime you hear Kat take a movie and make it into her own life, you got to call in and win some excellent prizes because she's the world's greatest liar. How far into the story before you were calling BS on that?
Honestly, it was really, really close to the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
I think I saw this movie.
Was it because I set up the joke and the attention span was so heavy because of the awesome Darth Vader joke? Was that why?
Honestly, that was probably one of the best jokes I've heard all
Come
day.
on,
Oh,
elevator,
my God.
right, Kelly, right?
Why are you spending your money to pay these people to call in?
No, Kelly, she just knows good humor when she sees it. What's the plan today? What are you doing?
Nothing fun, just going to work.
All right. Well, listen, I want you to take that joke and I want you to use it in your own way. Like, is there an elevator at work or not?
I'll totally use that at work today, yeah.
Like, listen, I want everybody at an elevator to work today somewhere. Post a picture of Darth. See if you can Photoshop Darth Vader and a bride and then just post it in the elevator. Like, that's so funny.
Yeah. That's super funny.
All right.
Take your time and do that today, okay?
Kelly, hang on a second. I'll make sure you get loaded down with some Playhouse prizes, all right? I was reading about this accident on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. Mm-hmm. A Mercedes-Benz rear-ended a Porsche 911 Cabriolet, and that, in turn, smashed into the side of a Bugatti. And then after everybody cleaned up their wounds and looked at the price tag, insurance is going to dish out over $4 million for this one itty-bitty fender bender. Nobody got hurt. Little scrape on the head of the guy with the Bugatti. Mm-hmm. That's a $2 million car, by the way. So it was a $4 million bill. What's the most expensive thing you've ever wrecked?
So I didn't wreck it. My brother Michael did. So remember when Emma moved back in with my parents, she purchased, and I don't know where she came up with this money, but she purchased a $5,000 crib for him. Like Liam turned into a beaver when we got his crib. All around the perimeter of the crib, they just gnaw on it. And I'm like, Emily, what are you doing? $5,000 for this Kathy Cow crib.
God. A what?
It's like Kathy Cow. It's like K-U-O, Kathy Cow. But it's like glass. And it's insane. I could show you a picture.
It's like from The Matrix or something.
My brother helps her put it together. And then he climbs in it. He is a big boy. And he climbs in it to pretend he was a baby. Whole bottom falls through. Half of it cracked. And she was just like, oh my God. But luckily, she had just purchased it. So they sent her a new bottom to it. But she was so mad. So that's probably the most expensive thing I know that has gotten ruined. But
my sister is now texting in. Remember that time you totaled mom's car?
Oh.
It was the first day I had the driver's license. First day, packed a whole bunch of kids in there, started fishtailing on purpose, just having fun on a gravel road, put it into a tree. I had my driver's license 8 hours. I totaled my mom's car. She was in love with that car. It never ran the same. She was so mad. Elena, what's the most expensive thing you've ever wrecked?
$1,000 jacuzzi tub that was in my parents' bathroom. So I was in high school. I had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
we decided when they were gone on a hockey trip to, have a little romantic night. And next thing you know, the next week, my older sister, because the bathroom was right above her room, my older sister had water start to like seep through the ceiling.
No.
And my mom's like, hey, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't use the tub. I don't know. I don't know what went down. And then she just kind of put two and two together, realized that my girlfriend at the time was over at the house.
You guys were so busy splashing around that it got out of the tub, or it just kind of broke and started seeping out somehow?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. They had to call somebody. They had to fix the ceiling. They had to fix the tub. It was just, I don't know.
In your defense,
was she hot?
jets are pretty cool.
Yeah, she was Australian, so it was.
Oh, then yeah, for sure worth it.
Come on, let's ruin your mom's tub. Let's go. It's so cool.
It's only a sister's room.
Water's water. It's okay.
So that's our question this morning for you. Listen,
if I can use my accent twice in a week, it's a good week.
I think we've also deducted that Australian women are the hottest on the planet, haven't we?
Not really, no. I don't think so. I think if they talk like this, it's like...
Really? I think it's a natural aphrodisiac.
It's so funny.
Like when real Australian women talk, not you. Not the
That's
fake.
how they talk.
No, they don't. All right. So, what was the most expensive thing you've ever broke? Elaine, is this Harper on the phone or Harper's dad?
It's Harper's dad.
Okay. Sir, do you have a name? Can we call you something besides Harper's dad?
Not really. Okay. Call me Justin.
Okay,
then.
Justin.
Call me Justin.
We're talking about the most expensive things you've ever wrecked. The story that was on the wire was about this Bugatti that got hit by a Mercedes, or got hit by a Porsche, which was hit by a Mercedes. When they put it all together, it was $4 million worth of damage. What's the most expensive thing you've ever wrecked?
For me, so I got to preface this. It wasn't the car itself that was the thing that was wrecked the most, but I'm not sure the statute of limitations on underage driving, but...
You're going to risk it today?
Yeah, I'm going to risk it today. So I was 13 years old. We lived out in the country, and my grandma kept on hounding my dad for this Australian crystal ball. Where's this Australian crystal ball? Where is this? He's like, Justin, go to our house and get that Australian crystal ball. Take your Uncle Dean's car. It was like a Chevy Celebrity, probably not more than $6,000-$7,000, but it was fairly newer at the time. And we have one bridge in between my house and my grandma's house.
God.
And on the way back, the Australian crystal ball was washboarding off the seat. So 13-year-old idiot me, I turn over, grab the Australian crystal ball so it doesn't break, take the wheel, smash right into the one bridge. I'm up on the windshield because I'm not wearing my seatbelt like a 13-year-old idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up there and I'm bleeding. I walked the extra half mile with the Australian crystal ball. I'm like, crying. I'm just like, oh, man, I smashed your car. And my Uncle Dean's like, where is it? I'm like, it's down there by the bridge. He grabs the Australian crystal ball, smashes it on the concrete.
Oh, my God. All the effort you put
there-
in to save it.
Yep. And there's me, 13-year-old, bloody, crying, and my soul just crushed.
Oh, my God.
So the Australian crystal ball wrecked, car wrecked, you wrecked, grandma mad.
That started me on the path that I am now.
But
we can trace it back to one moment.
That's it. Do we all look back now, though, and laugh, Or is it still pretty sensitive?
Not all that often.
Right.
I mean, I guess my dad and I are like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
I had to make something up, like the steering did whatever, but it was to save that Australian crystal ball, and now it's shattered.
Bless your heart.
I didn't know that Australian crystal was so worthy until this conversation. So you've enlightened me a little bit.
For me, it was. I don't think it was like the worth of it. It's just it was in my grandma's family for generations upon generations
Till that one fateful day.
Now they have this saying: if there's a bridge, just don't find it. Probably.
Yeah. There's one. I think they took the bridge down after that because it was just a little creek. So
probably a momentum to you. You know what I mean? They called it Justin's Creek now.
I don't think they call anything after me. They don't.
All right, man. Hey, great story. Thanks for sharing. Hope you have a really good day. All right.
Yeah, you guys as well.
Has anybody heard of Australian crystal before this moment in your life?
No.
Anybody else?
And I don't think we've said it more on this show than we have in the last 2 minutes.
Podcast download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.